Hey peeps, this is your favorite darling Robert in for Citrus Theater Beat, and we're doing Peep in the Peep site with a good buddy of mine, Mr.
Tim Stuart.
Hey Tim, we appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for coming in to be our Peep in the Peep site for this month.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
We've had you on the list for a long time, but you've been out of town. I understand you're on probation now, so that's good. That's a good thing.
I know.
I told you to quit hanging out with Sid. If Sid calls you, folks, don't answer. Don't answer.
I just can't help myself.
I know crime is addictive. It's these jewel heists. But Tim, let's talk about your art, your acting. I know that you're a little bit of a musician. We'll talk about that some. But so, what got you started in the arts?
I never participated in the theater in high school. Most of the high school was condemned. They tore it down the year afterwards, so we didn't really have a lot of places to play. But that was in East Tennessee and outside of Knoxville. But I went to Maryville College, which is a small school, and got involved, decided freshman year, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to try some things I never tried before. So I went to...
It happens a lot in college, I understand.
Yeah.
So, you keep it PG for the audience.
So this was freshman year. I was still too wet behind the ears to know much of anything.
Can we edit out the wet part?
Until... But I auditioned for my first show, but there was only one male role in it. So they cast me as assistant director, and I just spent my time just entertaining the cast, and eventually got on stage. And the rest of it was just crazy. Sometimes I was mostly in support roles. I did have an occasional time for a lead role, but it was getting involved in a repertory company that really kind of found my passion. So I don't need all the trappings of the theater. You don't need the dressing rooms. You just need a place to play. You need maybe a show, or you can make it up. Back then it was just find a show. But we played a lot of different venues, and I really liked that idea. But I was a struggling English major, bored out of my mind, because I have to read what? So we did a very neat production of The Velveteen Rabbit, which was a musical. I started singing and stuff when I was a kid, so music has always been there, but the theater came along a little bit later. But the Velveteen Rabbit, I was the Velveteen Rabbit, and they brought some little kids from the city to become regular rabbits.
Now, when you say Velveteen Rabbit, we're not talking like, Hugh Hefner kind of thing, velour kind of... I'm not familiar with the show, no. But...
No, actually we had 4th and 5th graders that came on board, and I was the only one that really wanted to work with these guys. And we all just kind of got along backstage and on stage and stuff, and so I decided, you know what? I think I want to go into elementary education.
Well, we got there the long way around, but we're there. Let's talk about that. You work with the kids.
I started.
You like kids?
Yes.
Our producer, Harry, he loves kids if they're cooked right, but other than that, but yeah, you've been working with the kids.
I have.
We're talking about a kids program maybe next summer with the Valerie and stuff. So
I started teaching 4th grade, came down to Citrus County back in 1981, I believe it was. And
were you trying to hide how old you are?
A long time ago. And did a show every year. We did a spring show, and kind of giving back to the medium that kind of got me there. And so we were doing shows and stuff, and I got a call from 6 years later, got a call from the middle school principal. Said,
you were in trouble and you had to report to the office.
And I got paddled.
That was back in the old...
I had to come back again.
Martial, corporal punishment.
And I'm thinking, this isn't even my school.
That's how bad you were.
Oh man, word got around. So he says, I want you to create a theater program for me. Well, okay, I've done stage work, but I've never taken a class in it. So, but I said, yeah, I figure thank you, I'll jump in. And this was at Crystal River Middle School. And I had the two-story building that's now there was mostly abandoned at that time. This is back in the mid-80s. And so they said, okay, you've got this whole place to play with. And I said, okay, this is kind of cool. So I had to think of what kind of curriculum. There wasn't any. So I had gone back to the basics, back to improv. And I basically created an improv class for middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And it was amazing. What worked, we kept it in. What didn't work, we tossed it out. And man, oh man, it was the best 7 years on something that I wasn't really even certified in. And we created a program that was just kind of cool. And a lot of those guys are friends, Facebook friends of mine. And matter of fact, I was at Crystal River High School's 30th reunion on Saturday. And half that room were kids that had been through my classes,
wow.
both 4th grade and middle school.
Wow.
So,
well, Harry and I, we definitely support, you know, people not being certified, licensed. We don't even have a driver's license. We wing it. It's great. Don't let the FHP see. Cut that part out. Anyway. But Tim, that's one of the things that we love about you, man, is like, you know, you said it, giving back. And you have certainly been a guy who gives back. And when you work with Lewis and Young, I understand you give 110%. You've done voice acting. You're out there on doing tech. You wear the hat well. I mean, that's really the most important thing at Lewis and Young. It's a weird company. But
well, that's the thing, is that Lewis and Young always celebrates the art. It's the art. It's not egos. It's not, I do this so I can be seen. Any of this stuff. I don't care for all that business. We don't need that. The idea is that when you're creating art, you are creating. And that's the thing, is I love to just basically, in all the things that I do, I like to create things out of my head into space, into whatever.
And we explain all those weird lawn ornaments you got. But,
well, it would explain. One of the classes I took at Maryville was how to build a dulcimer class. Now this is a mountain instrument, mountain dulcimer, and didn't even know what one was. Grew up in East Tennessee. And I'm thinking, what is this?
So, like, shoes were like a piece of technology you weren't aware of.
Well, we didn't build. Okay. Dulcimer was.
For those of you that don't know what it is, it's a insert Google here. Anyway,
but
it's fine.
But I took that class and was one of the few that were actually built one from scratch rather than the kits that they get. I couldn't afford them, so I started building dulcimers, and have now built 55 of them.
I didn't know there were 55 in existence.
I'm telling you, it's amazing.
You own like 80% of the dulcimer stock in the world. Is it dulcimer? Dulcimer.
Dulcimer.
What was the accent that threw me off?
Which accent's that?
Yeah.
So I got rid of my East Tennessee a long time ago, you know.
That's funny, because I found one. I was just walking along, I tripped over, there was an accent.
But anyway, so I still build dulcimers. I have a business that I do kind of on the side, but it hasn't really kicked in real big because I basically like to build them from scratch with the customer's input. So if anybody wants one, I got it.
So we're wrapping up here with Tim Stuart, good friend of ours, multi-talented guy. Sid, did you have a question for Tim? All right, you're out of here, man. Sorry, folks. Sid's had a little too much sugar today. Sorry, I apologize for that, Tim. But we're wrapping up here with our good buddy Tim Stuart. But speaking of wrapping up, Tim, you just retired.
Just wrapped up my career. Yes. Well, I retired twice. Retired a few years ago from Citrus High School as the library media specialist. I was there for about 15 years or so. That was after the middle school thing. And the last couple of years, I decided to come out of retirement. Ooh, wait, I still have a teaching certificate. They still need teachers. So I think I'll go back. And I ended up teaching 2nd grade at Rock Crusher Elementary School. Not worked with kids that young before, but they were so neat to work with. And but I finally decided that, nope, that's it. I'm going to spend my time with family and everything like that. So basically, then my hobbies, which are multitude.
Well, and you got a bunch of stuff coming up with Lewis and Young Entertainment.
Yes.
So check the website, lyeusa.com, to keep up on our next season. Going to be big, really big. Tim, hey, thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate it. It's always good to see you. It's always great to work with you. And
thank you, Robert.
I'm sorry about Sid.
Well, he's just Sid.
He's just Sid. That's the way to put it. Okay, folks. This is Robert Darling in for Peep in the Peep site for Lewis and Young's Citrus Theater Beat. Remember to check out the website. Remember to buy tickets. Remember to support the arts. Remember to like, share, and subscribe this video because, well, Sid likes it. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. Thanks to Tim, and we'll save you a seat.